Farscape is great for two main reasons. One, it has characters with depth and nuance. And two, it has a grand story arc with depth and nuance. In They've Got a Secret, we are treated to another deep dive into one of the people on Moya, and we begin the grand story arc. New viewers may not realize it yet, but events in this episode connect with events 6 episodes later to establish much of the foundation for the rest of the original series. But first, let's talk about the main focus of They've Got a Secret: Dargo. Up to this point, we have seen Dargo as a largely ineffectual, surly hothead. In the previous episode, we got a glimpse beneath Aaron's cold, hard exterior. In this episode, we got a glimpse behind Dargo's cold, hard exterior. We begin with Dargo working, and he is, big surprise, being surly about it.
Sweeping Moya's systems is droid work.
It is vital work.
Also, big surprise, Dargo is impatient.
Pilot, I can't understand you. What should I do?
The pilot.
Twice impatient.
Peacekeeper. I have a Peacekeeper device down here. What should I do? I have a Peacekeeper device down here.
Dargo, some kind of Peacekeeper what?
Wrong decision.
I've got Dargo back, and I've got him on scan.
I'm reading some kind of explosion.
Pilot, what tier is Dargo on?
He's not on any tier.
He is rescued.
Got him.
Revived.
Whoa!
Pilot, where am I?
But not entirely well.
Lolan.
Lolan? How do you feel, Dargo?
Lolan.
And Dargo's not the only one.
Something is wrong. What about that dip that Moya took after the explosion? Have you identified that yet?
Working on it.
You feeling okay?
I'm working on it.
Nor is Pilot the only one.
I've been trying to send some DRDs to assist you.
But they are not responding.
Aren't responding?
I'm working to sort it all out. We'll get back to you.
The plot has the dual threads of how whatever has happened is affecting Moya and Dargo. Dargo is hallucinating.
When you look at me, what do you see?
No matter what the others say, I see you and me together for...
Dargo, tell me, who is Lolan?
I know exactly what you're doing, Jothi.
Jothi?
Come here, boy.
Boy. You're crushing me. Oh.
Jothi, you are so big.
Oh, my size is never a matter for discussion.
Oh, I love you, son.
Son, you think I'm your
My son. No matter what happens, I will always love you.
Who's Lolan?
Who's the lamb? You may despise your sister for marrying me, Mekton, but don't mock her by feigning to forget her name.
Mary. Wait a minute. These people are real? You were married?
As Crichton says, Dargo's memory has short-circuited. He is both here and now, and in the past. An apparently very painful past.
Magda, you dare to deny your own sister's name. You dare to dishonor her even though she is dead.
Dargo had a wife, Lolan, and a son, Jaffe. Crichton, again in this episode, filling the plot device of figuring out how to save everyone, plays along with Dargo's hallucination to break it.
Dargo!
Magda.
What are you doing? Here? With her? You keep your hands off my sister.
Your sister.
You think yourself worthy of her when you cower from her memory.
Her memory burns in my very soul. You're dead.
You have to remember.
I don't want to.
You must.
Dargo, remember you killed her. To keep her from me, you killed Lolan.
Her own brother killed her.
I never had the chance. You were so young. Jaffe, please understand. I had to send you away. I was charged with your mother's murder. Before they could arrest me, I got you to another planet safely away. To a place where I prayed that Magda and others like him would never find you. But I can't be sure that you have remained safe until I see you again. Magda arrested me. He still had her dried blood on his hands.
Magda was a peacekeeper.
If he was a peacekeeper, then Lolan was...
More on Dargo later, but Crichton is correct that there is an emergency they need to address, and that's figuring out what's happening with Moya. Earlier, the DRDs threatened Crichton, and worse.
Do you think that Moya was causing all of this?
Moya has an independent intellect, right? Maybe she consciously cut off Pilot's resources in order to prevent him from keeping us alive. Our beloved ship may be trying to kill us.
Aaron manages to shut down the DRDs, and Dargo directs Crichton to where he had dismantled the Peacekeeper's shield.
I'm at the Peacekeeper's shield. There's something further down. There's something through here. Some sort of cavern. Zan, how much do you know about Leviathan physiology?
Not a great deal. Why?
Do you know how they reproduce?
Reproduce?
Yeah, I think Moya's pregnant.
That's why the particles are biomechanoid.
Yeah, it's a catalyst. A catalyst for pregnancy.
Then Moya hasn't been trying to kill us after all.
No, she's protecting her baby.
Well, it's not a baby. It is, of course, a fetus, because Moya has not yet given birth. Zan and Pilot correctly refer to it as a fetus. So anyway, DRDs are switched back on, life support is restored, but this is a major, major plot development that irrevocably changes everything. Moya is pregnant. Life for her and all aboard is about to go into unknown territory.
Pilot, there must be other changes to come as the fetus develops. What can we be expecting?
I'm afraid pilots are not privy to any special knowledge regarding the gestation cycle of Leviathans. Speaking frankly, I don't know what we can be expecting.
Now, whatever it is, we have to remember. The Peacekeepers put up a shield to keep it from happening.
Farscape is willing to dare to let things change, just as it is willing to explore its characters in depth. What we learn in this episode. Boy, do we learn a lot. This is the most significant episode so far. We learn Dargo's backstory. He was not, as he claimed in Premiere, imprisoned for killing his commanding officer. He was falsely imprisoned by Macton Tal, a peacekeeper who murdered his sister, Dargo's wife, Lolan, because Macton did not approve of the supposedly evil union between a Sebacean and a Luxan. Dargo has a son named Jothi, who Dargo managed to spirit away before he was arrested. Dargo has no idea where Jothi is now, but he is obsessed with trying to find his son again. All of this goes a long way to explaining how Dargo is today. Much of this is explained by learning from Aaron that
Dargo, it's ingrained in peacekeepers from birth that we must keep the bloodlines pure. That such unions are evil.
this matches what we learn in Premiere, that for peacekeepers, contact with, quote, unclassified alien life forms is punishable by death. We also learn that Luxans can survive in space for up to a quarter Arn. Pilot is connected to Moya's central nervous system. Pilot is also dependent on Moya's circulatory system for nourishment. The temperature controls, air, and lights inside Moya are for her inhabitants. Moya does not need them. Moya has hundreds of DRDs, and both Pilot and Moya can control them. They can all be shut down from Pilot's council, as Aaron somehow knows, having retained some knowledge that Pilot had from her injection of his DNA in the episode DNA Mad Scientist. Leviathans apparently can get pregnant. Zan says her body has no bacteria, but we do not yet know why. Ponderables. Much is made of how Aaron cannot pry her hand from the floor after the DRD sprayed glue on her. But that same DRD sprayed glue on her boot, and Crichton was seen carrying it back to Zan. Minor point, but hey, that's a goof. Crichton is quite bossy in this episode, though surprisingly no one seems to have a problem with it. Perhaps it is because both Zan and Aaron remain chastened from their experiences in the previous two episodes. Dargo, of course, is out of commission in this episode, and Rigel is preoccupied. Dargo breaking the Peacekeeper's shield released biomechanical particles that were a catalyst for pregnancy. Catalyst being a euphemism for sperm, we think. Finally, Crichton says that DRDs are not biomechanical like Moya. They are instead mechanical. How he knows this is unclear. Also unclear is how mechanical devices came to be an integral part of Leviathans. This is the only reference in the original series to DRDs being strictly mechanical, and that idea is not necessarily followed in later episodes, as we shall see. And we will see a lot in later deep dives into episodes of Farscape, the original series. This was a very important episode, and I may have given it short shrift here, but we do need to move on because the action starts to accelerate. In the next episode, we do get some interesting little seeds planted, as we shall see. Please support the Farscape Continues deep dive episode recaps. Give a donation in the Ko-Fi link below. Thank you very much.